Good morning, KWPR. We wanted to put together a quick video for you for creating dual agency green sheets. We get a lot of really great questions on this, so I wanted to put something together that you can refer to in case you run into this at some point in time. So in the green sheet platform here, you can access this through My KW, and then under the Technology tab, you'll get to your green sheet dashboard. And you're going to click Create a Green Sheet to create a new green sheet. We do ask for just one green sheet per address. So if this is a dual agency situation, you guys can decide whom you want to create the green sheet. It doesn't matter on our end who creates it. Oftentimes it will be the listing agent, but it doesn't have to be. But we do ask for one green sheet per address. And for the purposes of just moving forward with this, because I don't have any personal listings, I'm going to choose no, that I'm not the listing agent, and no, it's not in KWLS. Typically, if it's a dual agency, those answers would both be yes. But again, just for the purposes of moving forward, I chose no. And once you get to this point here, you'll fill in all of the pertinent information that is in red. In a dual agency situation, your transaction type is going to be both listing and sale. And it's important to choose this because this opens additional boxes down in the next section, the price, commission, and earnest money section here. So number one thing in a dual agency situation is to choose the type as both listing and sale. Again, you'll fill out the rest of this information that's in red here, and then move on to the next section with your commission information. So you'll fill out your sale price here, and then choose whether the commission is going to be a percentage or a flat rate. And then once you do that, it's going to open up two different boxes here. So you'll fill in what the listing side commission percentage will be and what the sale side percentage will be. And then once that's completed, you're going to fill out buyer detail, seller detail, and then down in the agent detail section, you'll see that there's several columns here, and essentially you could have many, many agents on the same transaction. So there is a column for each agent that could be party to the transaction. You'll fill out your name here. It should populate if you're creating this, and then choose your role in the transaction. So if you're representing the buyer, you'll choose buyer specialist. If you're representing the seller, you'll choose listing specialist. And then once you choose that role and choose your type as a listing, it's going to open up the box down here below that says listing unit. And a unit is utilized for Keller Williams International awards purposes. So each time you have a closing, you're awarded a unit. If you're splitting a closing, maybe you're co-listing with another KWPR associate, you can divide that unit up however you've negotiated to do that. So it might be a 50-50 split, and in that event, you'd put 0.5, or however you've determined to divide that up. This same method will work even if it's one side of a transaction, but multiple agents on that same side. So for this purpose, I'm gonna just put in one unit. And then when you hit tab, it's gonna populate the written volume here and what the gross commission should be. And then you'll continue down the line, filling out this section just again for your side. Please also remember that as of recently, they changed this form to auto-populate KW Cares donations to be $10. You can choose to leave that and donate to KW Cares. You can change the amount or you can zero it out, but just know that that's going to populate. Also remember that these other two sections, the KW Kids Can and Bold Scholarship, need to be filled out. Those get missed a lot of times as well. And then it won't allow you to submit the green sheet. So once you've moved all the way through your column of the transaction, then you're going to go on to column B for the other side of the transaction. So you'll find the other agent that is party to this transaction. Erin and I are doing a transaction together here today. And then choose Erin's side of the transaction. So if she's representing the buyer, she's going to be the buyer specialist, and the type is going to be buyer sale. And again, agency can be dual. I didn't mention that before. And then as soon as I changed that type to buyer sale, this sale unit opened up. So she's also getting a unit for this side of the transaction. So again, you can continue to fill out down the rest of this column for Erin's side of the transaction, and then any additional agents that are party to this transaction can each have their own column. And as you can see, there's tabs up here, so this could go on forever. So if there's several people that are involved in the transaction, all from our brokerage, then they'll each get a column that will show their own individual volume production as well as commission production. And then again, just remember to move through the additional sections. While I have your attention here, I'm going to mention too, it is not required to put in the co-broker, but we'd love to have that information. It's also not required to put in the mortgage and closing company. However, if I don't have a closing company filled in here, I have no idea where you're closing at. So it's super helpful to us to have this information filled out when the green sheet's submitted, so that we know who the closing company is. This is how we will know that information. And then again, just remember to submit it at the bottom when you're all done. If you submit it and it doesn't allow you to move forward, it's because there's some required information that's missing. So check the top of your green sheet, and it will list out everything that's missing for you here in red. So as you can see, I didn't fill out much, but you can go back and refer to this, and then it will tell you the section that it is in and what's missing from that section. So make sure that you check on that and then do submit it. Sometimes we will have people that will save it for later, and that's fine if you get it started and want to go back to it, but don't forget to go back to it. Otherwise, it just initiates the green sheet but doesn't officially submit it to us. I hope that helps with dual agency creation of green sheets, but if you've got questions, reach out to us.